Hi everyone, I'm Victor Mendez with Insurance Data and Insights. In this demo, I'll be showing you how to unlock dynamic data displays within your Power BI matrix visual. You'll learn to dynamically change row fields, add or remove measures in columns, select which measure column you want to sort, and be able to sort second-tier hierarchy columns in ascending or descending order without resetting the expanded column levels. Data for this demo has been generated via Power Query to simulate insurance data. If you are interested in learning how to create this data, be sure to visit my blog site at insurancedataandinsights.blog for a detailed guide. Firstly, let's gather the requirements. We need to dynamically change the row fields of the matrix. Add or remove measures as measure columns. Sort the matrix by any measure total. Add or remove account years. Finally, sort the account years in ascending or descending order. To generate this data via Power Query, head over to my blog site and click on the link Create a Star Schema with Power Query. The blog gives an overview of a star schema and why it's important for Power BI. The initial step involves creating a flat data set of simulated insurance data. You can simply copy and paste the M-language script into a blank query to begin. From the flat data set, we create the fact table and all the dimension tables needed for this demo. We're then able to create our star schema data model. The blog originally featured a data set with a single measure premium. We will now enhance this data set by adding 3 additional claim measures. We add a custom column with a formula to generate a random value between 0 and 500 for claims paid. We then change the data type to a whole number. We do the same for claims outstanding, but for values between 150 and 500. Then we add a custom column for claims incurred, which is the sum of paid and outstanding. For this demo, we'll adopt a strategy to add measures as columns within the matrix visual. There may be more efficient methods available, so please feel free to suggest alternatives in the comments. First, we manually create a measure type dimension using the Enter Data tab. This dimension will include 4 measures: premium, claims paid, claims outstanding, and claims incurred. Additionally, we'll introduce another measure called incurred loss ratio, which will become more relevant as we develop our measures using DAX. We'll also include a sort column. The primary function of this dimension is to facilitate the addition of the measure type attribute to the column area of the matrix visual. To sort the matrix by a measure column, we duplicate this dimension and modify the column names. In the data model, we establish a relationship between the 2 dimensions, ensuring that only one measure displayed in the matrix can be sorted. To integrate the measure type dimension with our fact table, we need to consolidate the rows of the fact table into a single generic fact that is identified by the measure type dimensions. We do this in Power Query by highlighting the 4 measure columns, then unpivot to an attribute column and a value column. We then rename attributes to measure type and value to measure type value. Next, we merge the measure type dimension into the fact table. Join on measure type from the type dimension and measure type from the fact table. Ensure the records match. We then expand the newly created column and retain only the measure type key attribute. We then remove the measure type column from the fact table. Finally, we add an empty custom column to the fact table and change its data type to whole number. This step is a crucial workaround that enables sorting within the second level column hierarchy. Next, we can close and apply changes. Now we need to add default sorting to our selected dimensions. Firstly, we'll take dim account year. We sort the account year descending attribute by the account year descending order by descending column, and the account year ascending attribute by the account year ascending order by ascending column. Next, we look at the dim measure type. We sort the measure type column by the measure type show order column. And for the measure type order dimension, we sort the measure type order column by the measure type order show order column. Now we move on to the data model. We join the measure type dimension to the fact table using a one-to-many relationship. We join on measure type key against measure type key in a many-to-one. Then we link the dim measure type table to the measure type order table, also with a one-to-many relationship. However, we will need to force the relationship direction to be single directional, otherwise the resulting join is a one-to-one bidirectional. Time to create the measures needed. We first create our base measures, beginning with premium. We assign the selected measure variable to premium with the same name as the dim measure type dimension. Then the calculate function removes all filters from the dim measure type table, ensuring the measure type value is calculated correctly from the fact table for premium. Again, please share any other methods to tackle this requirement. We create 3 more measures in the same way, replacing the selected measures variable with the appropriate measure type name. We start with claims paid, claims outstanding, and claims incurred. Now we create a measure for the incurred loss ratio by dividing the claims incurred measure by the premium measure. We now need a measure to display in the matrix. It will need to know the measure type selected and the measure type to sort by. The cells in the matrix that are not in scope of the measure type dimension will be placed in the column grand total. We then configure the visual to sort in descending order and select the measure type attribute to sort by. Finally, we create a measure to highlight the background for the measure selected to sort. The last development step before we proceed to create the visuals involves setting up 2 field parameters. These parameters will enable dynamic alteration of the matrix visual through slicer functionality. The first field parameter slicer will be used for the matrix row fields and include country, business unit parent, and business unit child. The second field parameter slicer will be used to sort the second level hierarchy column account year in either ascending or descending order. To create a field parameter, go to the Modelling tab on the ribbon and click the New Parameter icon. From the drop-down list, select Fields. We will simulate the first field parameter slicer with country, business unit parent and business unit child. For the visualizations, we create another 3 slices for the measure type as measure, measure type order as measure sort, and the account year. The remaining 2 slices are the field parameters. Finally, for the matrix visual. For the rows, we add the first field parameter. This allows us to select between country, business unit parent and business unit child. We'll quickly do some formatting before adding the columns and the values. For the column values, we add measure type, followed by the second field parameter, which is account years in sort order, followed by the empty column in the fact table. We then expand the column headers down to the lowest levels. We now add the value, which is the show measure matrix we created earlier. With that, the matrix is now complete. We have a little more formatting to do, and we'll do that right now. We can take text wrap off the values as we don't want them to wrap around. The column subtotals. We'll turn on the per column level. We'll go to the metrics type, scroll to the end, and what we want to do is get rid of the grand total column. We keep the account year, and for the empty column we remove any subtotals within the columns itself. We can now format the column headers so that the header alignment is to the right and the title alignment stays to the left. Finally, we add conditional formatting. Format style, we choose field only, apply to totals only, and we select the measure we created earlier to highlight the background. With that, now the matrix is fully complete and formatted. You can test it by adding and removing measures. Select different measures to sort. Add and remove account years. Sort the account years in ascending or descending order. Hopefully that's been useful for everyone. Thanks for watching.